By Michael Murphy Sports. Now stock in the new Donegal GA jersey at michaelmurphysports.ie.
Our number 2, welcome back to Highland Radio Sunday Sports Review of the Year. Next on the agenda is horse racing. Oisín Kelly is joining us live in the studio. Oisín?
Yeah, thanks, Kieran. No doubt one of the biggest sporting stories of 2025 is Donegal jockey Dylan Brown McMonagle. He, of course, was apprentice jockey recently over the last number of years, but this year he stepped up, certainly in the big ranks, and became Irish champion jockey for the very first time. First Donegal man ever to do that. It's been a stunning season for him as he took the champion jockey title, and he also won for Willie Mullins as well in the Breeders' Cup. He won the $5 million Long Days Breeders' Cup turf at Del Mar in California on a 28-1 outsider Ethical Diamond. That was back at the start of November. He was then back at the Curragh just 24 hours later when he was crowned champion Irish flat jockey for the very first time, finishing ahead of multi-time winner Colin Keane. 2025 has been a sensational year, to say the least, for Dylan Brown McMonagle. And listen, if he continues to go in the form that he did this year, certainly there's lots more triumphs and successes on the way for Dylan. Well, after that big weekend at the start of November, very much grounded is the young Donegal man. And when he was picking up more awards after he lifted the Champions Jockey title, he caught up with our horse racing correspondent, and that's Dave Keena.
It's very good. We've been working towards it all year, and thankfully to get over the line is great. And to get back here today to collect the trophy was very good after a special night last night, so it's unbelievable.
And the friends and family that came down from Donegal, they make these days extra special. And it's important that your friends and family, your mum and dad, they're here and they can really appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. There's people from all over the country out there to support that's been there from the start. So it's a big achievement for them as well as me. And it's good to see all the faces there and they're all smiling. So that's what's important.
And a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that Al-Rifa was a standout moment, but that may well have been usurped by last night's events in Del Mar. All rather surreal. Even Willie alluded to the fact that it was totally unexpected, and I suppose they're the sweetest winners.
Yeah, 100%. It wasn't expected. Anything after a place or something would have been a bonus. We weren't really expecting it, but he turns up every time, and he's so hard to beat. Doesn't matter what it is, flats, jumps, anywhere around the world. He's different class, so I'm very lucky to be able to get my leg over a horse like him, and thanks to the connections and everyone as well, but it was a very special day.
And when you walk out today into the parade ring and see the names on the jockey's title, it's not lost on you who the previous winners were: Colin, Mick Kinane, Johnny Murtha, Christy Roach, just the biggest names in flat racing. And to win the championship, I think, is the pinnacle. Yeah, 100%. It's the main one. To get your name in the trophy is very important. But no, it's a huge achievement, and I'm lucky to be down beside some of those names, but hopefully we can add a few more.
Dylan Brown McMonagle, Irish champion jockey for 2025, and that was him speaking to Dave Keena, who of course is a regular broadcaster, contributor, pundit and reporter here in Highland from the horse racing arena. And Dave now joins us on the programme. Dave, thanks for joining us today. Welcome back to the airwaves of Highland.
Thanks, Oisín. Happy Christmas to you and your listeners.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, how did you spend the last couple of days?
Christmas Eve off, Christmas Day off, and Leopardstown since St. Stephen's Day, and midway through day 3, and back here tomorrow, and come up for a breather and down to Tramore on New Year's Day, and then I'm hoping to take a few days off at that stage.
Okay.
But I suppose you're in the same boat as me. People say, "How's the job going?" And I always give them the same reply: "I couldn't tell you. I don't know." So this isn't work. It's great, and it's great to go and watch some high class sport. And I suppose you and me were in that lucky position that we go and we get paid to do our hobby, and it's a privilege, to be honest with you.
Yeah. How much did you enjoy watching Dylan Brown McMonagle this year?
Well, I've been tracking him and watching him since he arrived on the scene, and for a rider to improve as much as he did when he started to ride, like, he just has bundles of natural talent.
And the one thing that I always had a slight reservation about is the fact that he's quite a tall fella. And when young guys turn 18, 19, 20, 21, it's quite difficult in some instances just to keep their weight stable. And you see some very good flat jockeys, they just can't maintain their weight. And Paul Carberry would be the obvious case in point where he's probably going to go that route anyway, but just some of them can't control it. But Dylan has managed it and he has to work so hard at it. But once you get that under control, that's the main asset. And you have the backing of a very good yard that has very good horses. And I suppose the sacrifices that he would have to make in terms of maintaining his weight, and it's kind of the battle for 12 months of the year, when you know that every half hour or every hour when you're racing, you have a chance of riding a winner or you're riding a fancied horse, that's a huge addition. So the backing of Joseph has been the basic fundamental for Dylan, because he's backed him now over the last year or two. He's been essentially his number one rider, and that's been a huge thing. Like, Joseph's yard is huge. I'd say you're talking about in excess of 200 plus horses there, and when you have the pick of those, and you don't have to worry too much about the outside rides, because they will come and they will follow once you start to ride winners. So once Joseph gave him his backing, he always had the chance simply by numbers. Once you are in a position where you're going to go to the races, you have anywhere from 3 to 5, 6 rides on a day, and you're riding favourites or horses that are fancied, you've got a real chance. And with the backing of Joseph, he's riding a good class horse. He's riding a good horse every day. You're not relying on, handicappers as such. You're riding good maidens and good horses in good races, and that's a huge addition. And then it's a huge addition then when you go and you ride the slightly lesser horse for a smaller trainer, because they're tapping into the knowledge that you would have, that you know where their horse stands. So he's very grounded. He's a very humble fella. He's exceptionally good when you put a microphone under him or in front of him. He delivers. He's extremely articulate, very well spoken. And as matters stand, I would go so far now as to say he's the complete package. The best flat rider that I've ever seen was Mick Kinnan. And he was utterly dedicated and utterly driven. And he was champion jockey 13 times. Dylan knows how difficult it has been to be champion jockey this year when you have the likes of Colin Keane and Billy Lee snapping at your heels all of the time. But to get that one over the line, that's a huge thing. And now he has a bit of momentum behind him. And with any degree of luck, Oisin, he's going to be champion jockey on multiple occasions, because he's got age on his side. He's got the second biggest yard in the country at his fingertips. And just those two things combined, he's in for a very, very big future.
No doubt, Dylan Brown McMonagle, being crowned Irish flat champion jockey, was probably the biggest sporting story involving a Donegal sports person this year. And listen, part of that journey and part of that story as well was the event that took place, of course, in California at the Breeders' Cup, where he joined up with Wally Mullins on a 28-1 outsider. And it was basically a case of Wally went to Dylan, there's the horse, you do your thing. He won it in emphatic fashion. And that was sort of, we knew that he was going to be Irish champion jockey, but that performance in America was another big, huge rubber stamp for Dylan Brown McMonagle that, listen, I'm here on the big stage and I'm ready to go further.
Well, yeah, but to put that into context, Willie went over there because he said, let's bring him over and let's see how he gets on. And I spoke to Willie the week before, and he thought if he finished in the first 4 or 5, it would be a huge result. So it wasn't as if he's going over riding a 6-4 favourite. So you can go out and you can almost enjoy those rides. And if they fall your way, you've no pressure. You're not trying to second guess or trying to work out where the other horses are. You're going out to ride the race to suit yourself. And it was the perfect scenario for Dylan to go, because he rode on the track earlier on. He got a feel of it. The horse floats on fast ground. And realistically, Willie, he could have stuck him in to the Irish Champion Stakes the way he won. Maybe there was an element of, a small little bit of fluke about it, in the sense that the slightly more fancied horses probably underperformed, and it was the end of a long season for them. Whereas for him, he was going there relatively fresh, but he absolutely just got the run of the race, and just wherever he wanted to go, he had the horse to get him into the equation. I remember a very old racing fan said to me, good horses make good jockeys, and Dylan's job was made appreciably easy because of the horse that he was riding, and it was just the most fantastic situation to be in. I've been a jockey's agent for over 20, I think this is my 23rd year being a jockey's agent. And sometimes you put your jockeys on horses and you hope they'll win, or you expect them to do something. I'd say there was very little expectation from Willie and the connections. They were there. It's Breeders' Cup. If he ran well, he was going to pick up a big check anyway, because the prize money is just huge. But for him to do what he did, and that just electric turn of foot, it just crowned what was a magic year for him. And I remember the day after, I was at the Curragh and I spoke to his dad, and I met his mum for the first time. And just to see the pride that his father had by watching his son, and he watched the race in Kildare, because they follow him every weekend to wherever Dylan is riding. You'd see his mum and dad, and they're generally beside the winners' enclosure, because that's where Dylan tended to be quite a bit at the weekend. Like as a dad myself, it was great just for a father to acknowledge just what a big deal this was, and what a big deal it was. And Oisin, I'm a big Dublin GAA fan, and it's quite something for Oisin to say from Highland Radio that this was the biggest thing for Donegal sport, considering that the footballers, they were on the crest of a wave throughout the year. So that, for me, puts a real context on this and on its achievement, because I wouldn't be in Donegal that much. So for you to say that, that really cements my impression that this was a huge, huge year for such a talented young rider. But I think we touched on it off air. He's one of a number of talented riders now that are based in Donegal.
Yeah, and we'll just mention a couple of those. So Patrick McGettigan, Luke McAteer, they have had a good year's racing around Ireland, and have picked up winners. And then there's Oisin and Conor Orr, who had multiple winners as well. Conor getting back into the action again. Of course, he was a jumps jockey, and now very much on the flat, and having winners on the flat too. And there's a couple of other young Donegal jockeys who are starting to come up through it as well. So from that point of view, like if I went 15 years ago and started talking about horse racing, bar Martin Harley, there was really nobody else. But now we've just got a conveyor belt off them up here, Dave.
But isn't it great the fact that Dylan has put in this bit of interest in racing in that part of the world? Because we follow it, because that's our stock and trade, that's our job, and every half hour on a given day there's a new winner. And Conor came back, and he was he's a really gifted rider, and things went quiet for him, so it's good to see him doing well in the UK. Oisin is just a very naturally talented rider, and Richard Fahey has his back over there, and he's doing well, and he's riding plenty of winners. Young Patrick McGettigan, he was actually in contention for the Apprentice title up until maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks. He was kind of within shouting distance of Wayne Hassett, and didn't finish that far behind Wayne, and he's a £7 claim, which means that every horse he rides, he can take £7 off that horse's back. So come next year, he's going to be in contention. And then Luke McAteer, I'm reasonably sure when I say this, I think this is Luke's numerically his best ever year. And he was with Jim Bulger, and they went their separate ways last year. And he's been attached to David Mernan, rides plenty of work for plenty of lads. He's a very, very good rider, and a very down-to-earth fella too. And it's good to see him, see that, if you work hard, you'll get the rewards. And one trainer to note in your part of the world is Paul Sweeney. Doesn't train that many, but had a Curragh winner, had a winner at Naas, and for a very small number of horses, and they are what they are. They're handicappers, but he's placed them exceptionally well. And fair play to Paul. I tip my hat to him too. He used to have most of his horses trained by Dick Donoghue down in Kilkenny, but he's taken the plunge this year. And fair play to Paul, and he thoroughly enjoys his winners. And I think he turned up one day with either a Donegal tracksuit, GAA tracksuit top, or a jersey. I'm not sure. It was the weekend that Donegal were involved in one of the games, so he adds a bit of colour to it too. But again, I think there's that great mix between GAA and racing people too. But they're just names that come off the top of my head. There's probably more, but I think much the same way that Rachel Blackmore has basically given the pathway to young riders down in her part of the world, and she'll encourage girls to do it as well. Dylan is leading the way now, and he's proved that being from Donegal and not being from a racing background, it's no hindrance if you have the talent and if you have the work ethic and if you work hard and train hard and get breaks. Being lucky is very important, and having the support of people. But there's a number of young talented riders that have emerged since Martin Harley put Donegal on the map many years ago, and long may it continue.
Yeah, just finally on Martin Harley, I know you were his agent way back in the day, so you were. Martin decided to move down under. He had a horrific injury in recent years, which he came back from brilliantly. It could have ended his career, but like this year, he's still banging out the winners, so he is down under. And if I go back to the start of November, he had 7 winners in 5 days, which was a phenomenal achievement by Martin Harley. He may be the oldest jockey of all these Donegal boys now, but he still knows how to get the win and get into the winners' enclosure.
Well, it's funny, Oisin, age is no barrier, because I've seen plenty of jockeys who retire from race riding and they still ride horses on a consistent basis. Like Ted Walsh, up until maybe he doesn't do it anymore, but I saw Ted in the Curragh riding at one of his own horses, and I think Ted is 75 now. So I think once you ride horses, you will always ride horses. You mightn't ride them as competitively on the track. And Niall McCullough was 56 when he won the Cesarewitch this year. So Martin has plenty of miles left in him, as long as he just has that little bit of luck. And there's a number of very talented Irish riders doing particularly well over there, like Johnny Allen is doing well. Shane Jackson, he was a good rider and he's now started to train. Luke Dempsey did really well. Ian McRedmond is an apprentice that went from Ireland. He's done exceptionally well. Amy Jo Hayes the same. And there's more opportunities in Australia for riders who might just struggle. And it's not because they lack ability. It's a bit like, you mightn't have a pool of horses that can support you. And in Australia, there's mega trainers. I think Kieran Maher has somewhere between anywhere from 300 to 500 horses. So when you have that many horses, you need riders. And because Martin has competed in Ireland successfully and in the UK successfully, I think riders who have competed at a high level in Ireland and England will always do well in Australia. So it's no surprise for me to see Martin doing well. He was always a very shrewd guy, exceptionally good in form, always a very talented rider. But it's just extraordinary to think that he had such an horrific injury and then came back and is still booting in winners. Great mindset. Clearly his bottle is still intact, and it's great to see. But Oisin, I'll be honest with you, I think Donegal is a bit of an area that racing can really tap into now. It's brilliant the fact that you're taking such an interest in it because of Dylan, and that's obvious. But I think there's a lot of emerging talent that you and I might know about, that might just emerge over the next year or two. And I think that you have the platform to give these people that little bit of a lift and a bit of publicity, which is brilliant. And I know from talking to Dylan that if I was racing one day and I just said I'll just do a bit for Highland, he was always very accommodating, and he never forgets and never will forget his roots. And it's the same for Luke McAteer and young Paddy McGettigan and people like him. The outlet that you provide sport in your part of the world is very, very important.
We try our best, so we do. Listen, Dave, I know you're a busy man there at Leopardstown, and you've a bit of work to do, so we appreciate you taking time out from your busy schedule this afternoon to talk to us on our sports review of the year. Listen, have a very, very happy new year, Dave.
We'll catch up in the new year. All the best, and happy new year to all your listeners, and thanks for your support, and thanks for taking such an interest in the game.
Always good to catch up with Dave Keena, talking about one of the biggest sporting stories of the year, no doubt about it. Dylan Brown McMonagle, Irish champion jockey, winning at the Breeders' Cup. The future continues to get brighter and brighter for the young Donegal man. Just before we go for a break, Premier League cross channel, it's Sunderland 1, Leeds United 1 now is the latest score in that game. Sunderland, of course, going 1-0 up on that tie on 28 minutes through Enigrad, but Calvert-Lewin has equalised on 47 minutes, 2 minutes into the second half for Leeds, 1-1 there, and it's all to play for at the Stadium of Light, and there's still loads to come in Highland Radio's Sports Review of the Year as well. Later on, Brendan Kilcoyne will be joining me in studio to talk Gaelic games and reflect back on the big stories there, which of course no doubt was Donegal winning yet another Anglo-Celt Cup back-to-back on the Jim McGuinness, and we had that fantastic journey to the All-Ireland final. That's all part of our Gaelic Games section, which is still to come. And I've got a guy sitting beside me here in studio as well. Mr. Shane Byrne has joined us to recap on what turned out to be a fantastic year, finishing second in the European Rally Championship, but there's bigger things to come. He's going to be part of the WRC circuit in 2026. We'll be talking motorsport and rallying on our review of the year after these.
Highland Sports is brought to you by Michael Murphy Sports, Letterkenny. Give the perfect gift this Christmas with a gift card from michaelmurphysports.ie.
Hey, Greg Hughes here, inviting you to join us for our brand new show in the new year. The Greg Hughes Show launches on January the 5th.
I'm delighted to announce this morning a brand new surgical hub in Letterkenny and a brand new surgical hub in Sligo to serve the people of the Northwest, both in the Sligo region and in the Donegal region. And I think it's really, really important that we have both hubs, because I can see the population grow in this area. People need treatment as close to home as possible, and I don't want people from Donegal having to be travelling to Sligo and indeed Galway for different procedures that I believe they should be able to access in Letterkenny.
So that's the Greg Hughes Show from January 5th at 9 a.m. We'll chat to you then.
The Healthwise Pharmacy team would like to wish all our customers a happy Christmas and a happy and healthy new year. We would like to thank each and every one of you, our valued customers, for your continued support and for continuing to shop local and to shop Healthwise. Our big sale is now on with over 50% off a huge range of electrical, fragrance and gift sets. Why not start the year with a bargain and call into your Healthwise Pharmacy today. Healthwise, caring for your community.
Ensure the safety of your team with SafeTech. We have part-funded courses in first aid, people moving and handling, confined spaces, food hygiene, quad bikes, fire warden, IPAF MUPS, electrofusion, welding and machinery cards for Ireland and UK sites. Also delivering online courses like utilities, water hygiene and construction supervisors. SafeTech can deliver group training at your business premises. To find out more, contact safetech.ie today.
The Grove Furnishings Big Winter Sale starts this Monday the 29th with discounts in all departments. Offers include a just arrived Reed suite in a choice of 4 colours, 3 and 2 for $999 or 311 for $1,099, while stocks last. Don't miss the Big Winter Sale starting this Monday at Grove Furnishings Letterkenny. In the huge 3-day giveaway sale starting this Monday the 29th at Donegal Tile Centre, there's fantastic savings on all bathroom suites, bathroom furniture and showers. Get a floor vanity unit and basin for just €235. There's an extra 10% off all wall and floor tiles and many more real bargains. But hurry, the sale is for 3 days only, from this Monday to Wednesday the 31st at Donegal Tile Centre Letterkenny, just off the Polestar roundabout.
Welcome to Cherrymore Kitchens and Bedrooms in Donegal Town. Discover affordable luxury with our bespoke fitted furniture solutions. With almost 30 years of serving Ireland and the Northwest, we're your trusted experts. Visit us Monday to Friday 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. Book your free consultation today on 074 972 5822 or visit cherrymore.ie. Cherrymore Kitchens and Bedrooms, where affordability and luxury combine.
From all of us at iMotors, thank you for being part of our journey this year. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year filled with laughter and memorable drives. Have a safe and wonderful holiday season. We'll be back on the 2nd of January, ready to help you find your perfect car. iMotors, fearless generation.
The biggest sale ever is now on at Easy Living Furniture. We have absolutely everything that you need to create the home of your dreams. You'll find incredible deals on all of our items, including sofas, living, dining, bedroom, mattresses, accessories, and more. Furnish your home for less at Ireland's largest furniture retailer. Shop now and save big in the Easy Living Furniture biggest sale ever. Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry. Don't miss out.
Highland Sports is brought to you by Michael Murphy Sports. Now stocking the new Donegal GA jersey at michaelmurphysports.ie.
And you're welcome back to Highland Radio Sports Review of the year 2025. And our next segment on the programme, we're going to deal with motorsport and in particular rallying as we pick out, I suppose, the golden nuggets from the past 12 months. And one of those involved a Donegal navigator from south of the county. Shane Byrne has joined us in studio. If you're watching on our live social media stream, you'll be able to see him. And he's hightailed it in here to the studio to be part of our programme. Shane, good to see you.
Thank you, Oisin. It's good to be here.
And for people who don't know, Shane Byrne, of course, along with his driver, John Armstrong from County Fermanagh, finished second in the European Rally Championship this year with a very, very strong performance in the latter half of the season. And then the news in recent weeks was announced that they would be stepping up into a Rally 1 car and competing on 14 rounds of the World Rally Championship next year, starting with Monte Carlo next month in January. And Shane basically is going to become the first Donegal man to compete in all 14 rounds of the WRC Championship. We have had one or two previously, including the likes of Rory Kennedy, who's navigated it at the top position, but I don't think Rory has ever competed in a full series in the championship. That's something Shane is going to undertake next year. So listen, this last 6 months, Shane, has been a bit crazy, but I'm sure the reaction from rallying supporters, Donegal people in general, I'm sure the reaction has been fantastic over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been feels like an early Christmas present, knowing that we're going to the WRC next year, fall campaign, with Team M Sport and Josh and Owen as our teammates and our good friends as well. And yeah, it's the stuff of dreams, and there's been a lot of support at home and messages and calls, and that is very overwhelming. But it's great to know that people really want you to do well, and they're coming on the journey for next year. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that in just a second. So we will about Monte Carlo and what the expectations are on the WRC next year. But second in the European Rally Championship, and a very strong showing in the second half, particularly in the last couple of rounds. We won the two last rounds. We'll go back to September. Rally Cardigan, you took the win in the ERC. You're going to hear yourself here because this is you speaking to Highland's own Mark Gallagher after realising a dream of winning in Wales on the ERC.
Stuff of dreams, I suppose. It's don't really maybe think it's sunk in yet, but just looking at a lot of the photos and videos that's appearing online over the last couple of days, and it's you're reliving the moment again and again and again down at the stop car where we're up on the roof of the car. So no, I just really happy with what we done at the weekend, and it's a massive result for M Sport, especially being 1 and 2 with our teammates Romit and Sim on the podium with us, and for the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy, and just really happy for the boss of it all, John Coyne, to get a result for him at all the work and financial support that he provides to us young drivers and co-drivers. It's great to get a result for John as well, to show that the hard work is paying off. So no, it's been a great weekend, although it was raining quite heavy, but we'll not give out too much about that.
That was you speaking to Mark back in September after taking the win on the ERC. But that was a result that was coming because you two guys had a certain confidence in the car. Things didn't go your way in the first half of the season, but as the season continued, you guys were getting better, and you knew the times were good enough and there was something there good enough in you guys to win around.
Yeah, it was, for this year, it was 10 rallies, 2 at home and 8 in Europe, and starting in West Cork, the pace was good. Just ultimately, it wasn't to be our weekend going over the finish line. Good pace in Donegal also. We struggled in Rome, just couldn't get things together with setup and whatnot, but still believing that we had the pace. And we went to Barham then in Czech Republic, and just the stages were bumpy, choppy, quite similar characteristics to home, and like the pace was there from free practice into qualifying day one, and we thought we actually have a chance here, but we were racing the legend over there, Jan Kopecky. He's won it 9 or 10 times, and maybe Jan, okay, on Sunday he was maybe in management mode, but we were trying to figure maybe we need to watch what he's doing and, you know, bring this into the next couple of rallies, because I believe timing is a big part of it as well, and sometimes you need them tough days to make you learn more, because when you're doing well you don't always maybe notice what you have to improve on. But I met Rory Kennedy for breakfast down the town before Wales, and just one of the things Rory says was, he says, I'm confident, he says, that you're going to win this rally. And I laughed and I was like, well, our goal is to be on podium pace. If we can be on podium pace and no punctures, I'm confident we'll win it. And sure enough, we were lucky. We took our first European win in Wales, and it was probably hard to enjoy it at the time. Just so much going through your head from like your first rally up to this point, and just to process it all. And when we come over the finish line, okay, John's job is finished, but mine is, I still have the time card, and you just be hoping if you get out of the car you're not going to lose it, you know. And but no, it was a very, very special time, and like Donna Kelly and Gary Jennings were one of the first guys to meet at the stop car, and like I watched Gary lifting with Neil Doherty, won in Donegal in 2012, so it was nice to have them people that I looked up and still do at the finish line. But yeah, Wales was a big turning point.
And we have to mention the talent of John as a driver.
Yes.
We seen it in June in Donegal. Now, he's had your technical problems with the car, but when you got that sorted, like at times John Armstrong, the pace he was on, he was untouchable.
Yeah, John is an immense talent, so cool, calm and collective. And when we had the first technical, we came into service and got it sorted, and we were given our second per kilometre, what we needed to be faster than what was Callum, who was leading the rally. We went back out and we were comfortably achieving that. And when we had the second technical issue, okay, the goal was to be on the podium, and we were comfortably doing that. And just sometimes it bites you when you least expect it, and we were just that case. But overall the pace was very strong. We got to showcase the Fiesta, which traditionally would be a big car in Ireland and amongst Donegal drivers, so we left some good work behind us, I think, anyway. So
well, that good work continued into September. Then you won Cardigan, but you just had another level of confidence after that. They always say once you get the monkey of the back and get the first one, you're really, really eager to get a second. And it wasn't too long afterwards coming in Croatia in October, Shane.
Yeah, Croatia is quite a difficult rally. The surfaces is very hard to judge the grip level at times. We done like a development test and a pre-event test, and we did slide a bit wide into a ditch during the test, and little did we think a couple of days later we'd be standing on the top step. But that last stage, which is the power stage, where essentially you get an extra couple of points if you're fastest. But I remember that was used in the WRC in previous years, and I remember watching Callie, Rovanpera and Yanni coming down, and that whole anticipation, it's so technical towards the finish, and you're like, come on, just get it across the line. And them thoughts were going through my head going down, and once we get over the finish line, you knew you done it.
Yeah, because that gave you second in the ERC.
Yeah.
So that was your runners up spot, and was very emotional in the car afterwards.
Two big emotional chops in the car. Mathematically, it was near impossible to win it, but we done everything we could. But Miko Marchek and Simone fully deserved to win it, but they had to finish above 8th, and which they did. So congratulations to them on winning it.
So the dust started to not so much settle, but you were still in the high. There was rumblings about what may happen next year. Where's John Armstrong and Shane Byrne going to go? I don't think that everybody was caught off guard when Rally 1 was mentioned, but the fact that it was going to be a full 14-round series for you guys at a Ford Puma Rally 1 next year was what caught people off guard. It was no surprise that you would be stepping up. But that was huge news, Shane. At what stage before it was announced did you guys know that was happening?
I suppose you see certain things on social media too, but you have to take that like a pinch of salt. But we did get bits of information that it might be happening, but nothing was guaranteed. And I think it was maybe a week out from going over to Dovenby for the announcement. We were told we were in the fall 14 round, so we were told to prepare for Monte Carlo, and our prep started at that stage. And even when we went over that day, until we were on the stage and Malcolm announced it, we still didn't know. Our engineer Rory Bell, who is coming up with us to Rally 1, which is great. Rory even knew before us the day before, so it wasn't a surprise as such, but the full 14, I was a bit speechless.
Yeah,
it's very hard to believe. Like, it's the top echelon of the sport.
It's the top end of the sport, but like obviously for you guys, it's so exciting. But for motorsport, the motorsport family in Donegal, the motorsport fans in Donegal, and you see how passionate the Irish get behind those who are competing. We've seen it with Craig Breen. We've seen it when Chris Meek was in there, right? That's you now, Shane. And you're going to have all this. Like obviously there was Josh, not too far down the road in Derry, Kilrea and Derry, who has a year now under his belt. This is very much an Irish looking team, so it is. And for the sport overall, particularly in Ireland, this is probably getting bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah, there's been a few people saying they're going to get a new subscription for Rally TV again, and my own neighbour just says I must bring it. He asked me a couple of weeks back, were we doing Monty, and I wasn't really able to give an answer properly, but he messaged me since and says I'll bring it out to Donegal. Like, so yeah, it's nice, and the support, you can draw energy from the support too, and hopefully we'll see lots of Irish flags on the stages.
Yeah. So then, what's the plan now with Monty? Because Monty's the middle of next month, isn't it?
Yeah, towards the end of next month. Yes.
Towards the end of next month. You have to get time in a Rally 1 car. You have to get yourself acclimatised to the Monty stages. Is it going to be busy now for the next while for you? Because I'm sure you're going to have to watch film. You're going to have to watch videos, different things to. You were in Monty last year as a part of a gravel team, so you have a bit of experience there. But it's been ramped up now.
Yeah, now it's the real thing. We're in the car against the clock, and there's no doubt there's going to be pressure there, but it's what you make of it too. So a mindset is quite important. But I'm away 21 out of 31 days for January, so it's quite a busy start to the year. But from last year with Josh, and his itinerary, I knew it was quite busy till after Sweden. So, but no, this is what we live for, so we can't wait to get started. Saying that, John has been in the car already, but I have to wait till the start of January, so really looking forward to it.
Yeah, good stuff. You mentioned John Coyne and the Motorsport Ireland Academy, and I suppose the financial backing that's now been put in here to that, and the Academy is now starting to reap the rewards of this. There's so many drivers now under this umbrella, and it's hugely important for you guys, because this might not maybe happened if it wasn't for the Motorsport Academy.
100%. John Coyne is the 1982 Tarmac champion, and just recently inducted to the Hall of Fame in Motorsport Ireland for all just what he gives, the opportunities to us drivers and co-drivers in Ireland. So yeah, we want to try and do John proud this year, and the first goal, I suppose, we need to finish rallies, and we're all competitors at the end of the day, so we'll be looking for a fastest stage time and take it from that. So
we're going to hear from one of your fellow Motorsport Ireland Academy teammates, young Kyle McBride from Inishowen. He of course had a super year where he won the Junior British Rally Championship and the Stellantis Cup. He had a massive battle with another Donegal driver, Joe Kelly, as the Peugeots, the Rally 4 Peugeot 208s, all battled it out for honours. But it was McBride who, after a couple of goes over the last couple of years, been crowned Junior British Rally Champion. And then in November, Kyle also won the Billy Coleman Award for the Young Rally Driver of the Year. So let's hear from Kyle after winning that Junior BRC and Stellantis Cup title. He spoke to Highland's Mark Gallagher, and at the time he said it was a massive team effort which got them over the line.
And the moment, sometimes when you have so much going on in your head, like it's hard to believe. But yeah, look, it's unbelievable. I've looked up to many of the people that's won the likes of the Junior British Rally Championship, and always loved or thought about doing, like would love to, dreamed of doing it, and to be given the opportunity to be able to do it and compete in it is mind blowing. Never mind getting the opportunity to try and push for the win. And thankfully, we're given the opportunity by numerous amount of people and sponsors in the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy, and yeah, my family, my father, and yeah, it's a huge team effort to get me there. But yeah, we've been doing it this past few seasons, so it's just it was a long time coming, but just absolutely delighted to get it over the line, and yeah, just really thankful to all the people who's helped me along the way.
And he's shown man Kyle McBride speaking on Highland after he won the Junior British Rally Championship title. He went on to take the Billy Coleman Award, and again, it's another product of the Motorsport Ireland Academy. But what a springboard now for him to launch his career as a Junior British Champion, Shane.
Yeah, just proof that the Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy are providing a pathway. As Kyle feels as if he's like 28, 29, but he's only, I think, early 20s. He's about this maybe 8 to 10 years rallying, and a former J1000 champion, and now he's after one of them accolades this year, and hopefully Kyle can get to compete in Europe, which essentially be the next step. So
yeah,
I wish him well.
Another man is going to have a bright future, no doubt. Let's go more localised, because the Donegal International Rally is one of the standout events on the calendar, the third weekend in June, each and every year. And for the third year in a row, Callum Devine and Noel O'Sullivan took the title outright as the Derry and Kerry duo held off the challenge of Marion Evans and Ger Conway. Callum and Noel also won the Irish Tarmac Championship for a second time in August, but he was the dominant driver once again in the county. There hasn't been too many drivers that have won 3 in a row. The late great Manus Kelly and Donald Barrett achieved that. Andrew Nesbitt, Conor Curley were among some of the names as well that were able to do 3 in a row. When he took that achievement at the finish line in Fanet, he caught up with Highland's Chris Ashmore, and obviously he was delighted to take the title for a third time.
We're absolutely thrilled. The competition this weekend has absolutely been top class. 2-time European champion here, and all the guys has been here pushing hard, and we're really happy with our driving, to be honest. We didn't put one mistake all weekend. We just managed it. Comfortable speed all weekend too as well, and it's pretty amazing.
So tell me, when you look back at it, it was a very controlled run by yourself over the stages.
Yeah, it was, to be honest. I think it's every time I get into a lead or a bit of a margin, I nearly I stay there, or else I slacken off, gauging by other people's driving. Some people should say I should push on, but I don't know. It's just the way I get there. I just probably go into a safe driving mode, and a good comfortable speed. But no, look, it's been fantastic. Everything else went well for us this weekend too as well. Look, the car's been faultless. Everything else, the team knows, been absolutely fantastic as always, and takes all them things too as well to make it click into place. And
And just compared to the other two, was it harder? Was it easier?
The first one probably more mentally draining, because it was the first time for everything. The pressure there, probably putting on myself, was a bit high, and just to get it over the line, see how it's done, this weekend now the pace has been as fast as you'd want it, but we're very happy.
That's Callum Devine, 3-time winner of the Donegal International, 3 in a row, himself and Noel O'Sullivan. If you just joined us, Shane Byrne is in studio, navigator who finished second in the ERC and will now compete with Ford on the WRC stage for 14 rounds in 2026. And listen, Shane, you're a Donegal man. That event's very, very much close to your heart. You and John had, after technical problems, we mentioned it earlier, that you put up some serious times, but you have to tip your hat to young Callum Devine. Lots of big names in there in 2025, and he just took everything in his stride, so he didn't panic, and in the end he had the best tactic of everybody and was the deserving winner of Donegal.
Yeah, Callum and Noel, what a team, phenomenal crew, and third Donegal and third or fourth Killarney and Tarmac champions again, so no stellar performance that weekend. Kept it in the middle of the road, and great car, great service team, great package, just a proper overall package. So no, fully deserved one.
Yep. You sat with Callum, didn't you, through your career at some stage?
Yeah, Callum gave me a chance in 2022. We done some testing outside Donegal town, and we went to West Cork then. So a real baptism of fire and straight into the deep end. But no, Callum was very good and helped me along the way. Went to the Circuit of Ireland then. We finished third overall. Alistair Fisher had won it that year with Gordon Noble. So, yeah, it was my first introduction to Rally 2 machinery.
Yeah, to the big stuff. To the big stuff. But what a lineup. Now, John Armstrong and Shane Byrne are going to be competing next year in WRC Rally 1 with Ford. Hayden Padden, who was in Donegal in June, also signed up with Hyundai for the WRC next year as well. William Creighton, who competed in June, is the British Rally Championship champion, in 2025. So we had a stellar lineup, Shane, so we did in Donegal. It just speaks volumes about, I suppose, the rally here in the Northwest and what it offers to its competitors.
It'd make some boy band, wouldn't it? It was serious lineup. I do believe William and Liam all won Donegal, because me and William actually done gravel crew for Matt Edwards and Dave Moynihan for 2 or 3 years. So William wouldn't have that much experience of driving Donegal, but what a performance! Just very unlucky the puncture put him and Liam out. But no, it was a great lineup, and for Hayden to come there with WRC background and brings his own fans to it, and we get to see Hayden at a couple of the WRC rounds now in 2026. So
yeah. Well, listen, we thank you for coming into the studio today. We're delighted to have you here. You've got a very exciting future ahead of you, Shane, and all we can do is wish you. We can't forget about John, who's back in Fermanagh, probably tuned in, watching on social media. We wish you two guys the very, very best of luck in your journey with Ford and the World Championship Arena next year, because we're all looking forward to watching you, and the very best of luck with it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. There you go. Shane Byrne, Donegal man, set to go on the WRC. Okay, we have a couple of breaks to catch up on. We're going to have news at the top of the hour, and we'll have more on our Sports Review of the Year to come real soon.
Highland Sports is brought to you by Michael Murphy Sports, Letterkenny. Give the perfect gift this Christmas with a gift card from michaelmurphysports.ie.
Find me somebody to love.
The dream sale is now on. Are you beds all set?
Ready to spring into action.
There's up to 40% off a range of beds and mattresses. Until Monday, save 25% on all bed frames, even those already on sale.
Don't hit snooze, shop now.
Dreams. Love your bed.
Looking ahead to 2026? Now's the time to order your 261 Kia at Heron Auto, Donegal Town. With 5 brand new Kia models arriving, there's never been a better time to upgrade. With smart design, a 7-year warranty, and finance starting from 0%. Kia delivers style, comfort, and performance you can rely on. Visit Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Secure your 261 Kia today. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto.
Donegal at night. It's lively, it's ours. Let's be safe and sound. Whether you're at the cinema, a show, a match, or just out for a stroll, we all play a part in creating a safe and enjoyable atmosphere after dark. Let's have the crack, be sound to nighttime staff, and make sure everyone gets home safe. Let's keep Donegal a place where we all feel respected. Let's be safe and sound. A message from Donegal County Council's Buncrana Nighttime Economy Initiative, funded by the Department of Culture, Communications and Sport.
Give the gift of comfort and hope to those who need it this Christmas with a Trócaire gift of change. Visit trócaire.org/gifts or call 1800 408 408 to buy a gift and change a life. Trócaire, together for a just world.
You're useless. Worthless. I look after the money because you're a dope. You'd be nothing without me. Nobody cares about you. That's what abusers tell us. It's all lies. You deserve to be safe, and when you ask for help, you will be heard.
If you're living with domestic or sexual violence, support is always here. Visit alwayshere.ie or call an Garda Síochána.
A message from Cuan, the Domestic, Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Agency.
Don't buy furniture. Wait. Cooney's Home Interiors are updating their ranges and must clear all stock. The store is briefly closed to cut prices and prepare for the launch of the Cooney's €1.5 million stock disposal grand sale, which starts at 10 a.m. this Monday, the 29th of December. Their entire stock of furniture, including suites, sofas and chairs, dining and occasional, beds and bedroom, rugs, home accessories and more, will be available with bigger savings than ever. The Great Refurbishing Sale at Cooney's, Letterkenny Retail Park, starts at 10 a.m. on Monday. Don't miss it.
Don't miss your chance to win over €10,000 with Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio. It's easy to play, it's for a great cause, and it could make your day. Grab your bingo books now at your local shop.
It's here, the new Opel Frontera. Join Manor Motors for the Frontera Test Drive event and discover the Wow, the new family fun SUV from Opel. With big comfort, huge space and room for 7. Choose hybrid or electric and make every drive a new adventure. Get behind the wheel at Manor Motors, your Opel dealer. Now with 5 years unlimited warranty. The new Opel Frontera. Fun has found its family.
Make recycling part of your festive tradition. At this time of year, we use a lot of batteries. Don't let them go to waste. Recycle yours for free using the battery collection boxes in your local shop or at the recycling centre. For festive opening times and details, visit donegalcoco.ie. Donegal County Council, looking after your environment.
The biggest sale ever is now on at Easy Living Furniture. We have absolutely everything that you need to create the home of your dreams. You'll find incredible deals on all of our items, including sofas, living, dining, bedroom, mattresses, accessories and more. Furnish your home for less at Ireland's largest furniture retailer. Shop now and save big in the Easy Living Furniture biggest sale ever. Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry. Don't miss out.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good afternoon, it's Katie Gillen with the news at 4 o'clock. Gardaí are continuing to appeal for witnesses after a 16-year-old boy died in a crash involving a tractor in Clare yesterday. The incident happened on the Crushing to Gort Road at Bunho shortly before 2 o'clock. Fire crews from Galway and Clare were among those that attended the scene. The driver was pronounced dead, and Gardaí are asking anyone who may have camera footage of the road around the time of the crash to contact them. A walker was taken to hospital after suffering a fall at Ards Forest Park on St. Stephen's Day. It's being reported that at approximately 3 o'clock they fell on rocks. After ambulances had difficulty in getting to the location, the Rescue 118 helicopter was dispatched to the scene. The casualty was airlifted to Letterkenny University Hospital, where they received treatment. At least 48 people a week are estimated to have died this year because of emergency department delays. The Irish Mail on Sunday says a data analysis carried out by A&E expert Dr. Stephen Black shows up to 5,000 people could have died over the last 12 months due to lengthy waits at emergency departments. The Irish Patients Association says if the numbers were road deaths, we'd call it a national emergency. Diplomatic efforts to secure a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia will get underway in Florida this evening. Donald Trump will host Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at his Mar-a-Lago home to discuss an updated version of his US-brokered peace plan. Laurie Bristow, a former UK ambassador to Russia, says territory and security guarantees will be strong talking points.
Even if there is a ceasefire, Russia will for certain come back for more at some future stage. So what we need to be clear about, what Zelensky needs to be clear about, or any future Ukrainian leader, is that there will be a reaction if Russia breaks that ceasefire, when Russia breaks that ceasefire.
Online shoppers are being urged to be cautious during the sales by police in Derry City and Strabane. They say people should only shop with trusted retailers and check that the website starts with HTTPS. Shoppers are also being asked to not click on any links from unexpected emails or ads and use a credit card if you can, or secure payment platforms. Police added that if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Meanwhile, the CCPC is encouraging people to be scam aware this New Year's. It's promoting its Scam University, which is 6 modules to help people spot phishing, fake online shops, romance scams and more. They're free and available on ccpc.ie. Clodagh Coffey, Head of Marketing and Research at the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, tells us about fake online shops.
And you'll find that a lot of the time they have these kind of names that make them sound like Irish bricks and mortar shops. So we've seen Aiden's of Kildare or Murphy's of Cork. They'll have a kind of an Irish place name and an Irish sounding name, which makes it sound like it's a legitimate business. And people might think they're genuinely supporting, local businesses. There's ones like Ruby and Maeve, and they're based in Kerry, and they'll have these kind of stories about being a family business, and they've been around for 10 years.
Over 70% of Irish families are trying to be more sustainable this festive season. Research from Return shows tidying up is the biggest trigger to family arguments around the dinner table over the holidays. It's urging people to set a space aside for the collection of bottles and cans and to recycle them at their local return point. Chief Marketing Officer at Return, Dermot Mulligan, says it's an important step towards sustainability.
When you're at your local store, by returning your bottles and cans rather than using your recycling bin at home, households can, keep more valuable material in the circular economy, which is really important from a sustainable point of view.
More than half of people here are drinking less than they did last year. 54% of people say they consumed less alcohol in 2025 than in 2024, according to new research from Drinks Ireland. 65% say it's because they want a more balanced lifestyle. Pat Rigney, chair of Drinks Ireland, says our drinking culture is changing.
What we're seeing basically is pretty responsible consumption in Ireland, and the old stereotypes, which we believe in the industry are damaging, people continue to propagate them because it almost encourages people to behave in a bad way. They're very much in the rearview mirror, and we're living in a very different environment now where there's much more balance.
And now for the weather, remaining dry and cloudy today with high temperatures of 4 to 6 degrees, and all Donegal roads are to be gridded from 6 o'clock this evening and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's all from the newsroom for now. We'll be back with another update at 5 o'clock.
Highland Sport is brought to you by Michael Murphy Sports. Now stocking the new Donegal GA jersey at michaelmurphysports.ie.
Our number 3 Highland Radio Sports Review of the Year coming up this hour. We're going to have Gaelic Games very shortly. Oisin Kelly and our Gaelic Games correspondent Brendan Kilcoyne. We're going to begin this review this hour with the world of boxing, not forgetting motorsport as well. But what's happening today in the current world of sport? We're going to begin with darts. The action continues at the World Darts Championship this afternoon. At the moment, it went to a deciding leg. Gary Anderson coming out on top 4-3, defeating Jermaine Watmina in that deciding leg. Former world champion Rob Cross smashed Damon Heta in straight sets and will face reigning champion Luke Littler in the next round. Already today, in case you missed it, Ryan Searle had no issues in dispatching Martin Stillander by 4-0, also at the Ali Pali. Later on today, Michael Van Gerwen and Luke Humphreys will be looking to book their places in round 4. It finished 1 apiece between Leeds and Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. That was in the early kick-off of the English Premier League. 4:30 today, Crystal Palace will take on Tottenham Hotspur in the evening game, and that will be keeping an eye from that from 4:30. We're going to continue our build-up, our review of the year, sporting year 2025, and I'm now going to hand you over to Chris Ashmore. Chris, Rhys Irwin, what a year for the young Kilmacrennan man.
Absolutely, the Kilmacrennan man. Well, we've been watching his career over the last few years, and he continues to rise up through the ranks. Next year he'll compete at the British Superbike Championship for Master Mac Hawk Racing Team, and will race a Honda Superbike. And, well, as he reflects on 2025, as you say, what a year. The Quattro British Supersport champion. He clinched that title at Brands Hatch in October. He finished 4 points ahead of Ben Curry, who was in second, and Jack Kennedy in third. 2 former champions and renowned in the supersport world. So he continues to go from strength to strength, and we will be certainly keeping a close eye on him next year. Well, after winning the Supersport title in October, he spoke to Highland Radio's Mark Gallagher, and he said he was delighted to have his first championship win under his belt.
Oh, look, it's brilliant. Like, it's one of them things you spend years trying to achieve it, and then for like anything, you look, it's obviously delighted. Like, it was brilliant. A lot of people go with their careers without ever winning a British title. A lot of people have great careers without ever actually winning a title. So at my stage of my career, to be able to at least get the first one done and have that in my CV, it's nice. But a bit of pressure off more than anything, to be honest.
And that was Kilmacrennan's Rhys Irwin. Well, moving on to boxing, and A number of great performances from local boxers during the year, not least Matthew McCole. He represented Ireland for the first time in the Battle of the Erne in Enniskillen. That was back in May and won via a second round stoppage. He won the Irish Elite Light Middleweight 70 kilo title in Belfast in June. And the 26-year-old who competes with the Illy's Golden Gloves Boxing Club, well, he secured victory over Eugene McKeever of Holy Family Drogheda following a 4-1 decision in his favour at the Gurwood Community Hub. Now, due to winning the elite title, that meant he qualified to represent Ireland at the World Amateur Boxing Championships in Liverpool in September. So a great honour for him and his club and Donegal. However, he lost out to Filipino fighter Ronald Chavez on a 3-2 split on the judges' scorecards and so exited the competition. Nevertheless, a great year for him, and when he spoke with Mark Gallagher after clinching the national elite title back in June, he said that after all his hard years and lots of training, it had been a long time coming.
It's the top of the table, as you may say. Like, it's the best one to get. So it's been one that seemed to have been out of reach for a long time. So I'm just happy to finally get over the line. It's a sweet one to get as well. Like, you know, especially getting to it at the elite final stage. You know, it's where make or break point, kind of. You know, and to get it over an old person or an old rival where people may have thought, oh, that's just going to be another loss maybe, or that, you know, and just to prove it wrong, and just to prove what I've been saying for years, that I was capable of it, to finally come to fruition.
So a great year for Matthew McCole, and indeed at various competitions at underage level, both male and female, Donegal once again very well represented in terms of boxing over the past year. The big cloud, though, over boxing during the year, particularly here in Donegal, the sad passing of Peter O'Donnell, hugely respected, known throughout the country and beyond, and a hugely influential figure and a man that many people looked up to. And indeed, Kieran, he was somebody who contributed over the years on Highland Radio many updates.
Big time, Chris. And I started here in 2023, and just speaking for 5 minutes, you'd think you knew him all your life. He was so personal with you, always named you, and was interested in outside your life as well. And I did tell the story before. One Thursday evening, I was watching 9 o'clock news, and there was European Boxing Championships on, and there he was on the ring. And on the Saturday afternoon, when I landed up here, he was walking out of the Highland Radio studio, giving me €50 for my Maison de Mal cycle for the sponsorship. Just an amazing man, like, so good. And yeah, he'll be missed by all the young up-and-coming boxers, no doubt about it, Chris. Thank you very much, Chris. So, Chris, next up, so we're going to take a commercial break now. Then we're going to focus on the world of Gaelic games with Oisín Kelly and Brendan Kilcoy.